All right, for this next video, I just want to talk just a second about sending your code up to GitHub. Now, GitHub is a repository, a lot like Google Word or Google Sheets. Okay, it's a place where you can put your code. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to end up putting our code on GitHub, and then from GitHub, we're going to send it to another product called Heroku, but we're going to do that in Module 2. So for now, let's just show how we would do that. So here is our GitHub, and it's not currently connected to GitHub. So I'm going to go to Settings, and I'm going to go down to Version Control and GitHub. And you'll notice that my GitHub is connected. If you don't have it here, you can always click and log in via GitHub and connect your GitHub with PyCharm. Okay, and once it's connected into PyCharm, you can come in to VCS and you can share your project on GitHub. When you click Share Project on GitHub, sometimes, if it's a brand new install, you're going to get a pop-up that asks for your email and your name. If you don't put that in right there, the whole process is going to break. Okay, so you need to put in your email, and it's just a one-time deal. The very first time you install it, you put in your email and your name, and then click OK. Now, on this share project on GitHub, the repository name on GitHub has to be unique. So if I go to GitHub and I go to repositories and I look at my repositories and I look for I think it's just Python project 2. Okay, so project, I have a bunch of samples out here that I've been putting out here for a while. Okay, so what I do is Python project 2 is not out there yet, so I can use that one. Okay, if I uncheck this box, it will make it a public repository. I want to leave this box checked. Okay, so I'm going to click share, and it's going to send it out. You'll see down here it says, what do you want to send out? Well, we'll just send everything out. That's fine. And we'll click add. Okay, and it's going to push everything to GitHub. Okay, and if I go back to, I can actually click this and it will take me into that repository, and you'll see there's my test and here's my test 2. Okay, now if I go back to PyCharm and I make a change and enter and I'll just say first number instead of it written out, notice how it becomes blue. And if I want to push just that change for test 2, just that change, I can go into my little, right below the folder icon, okay, and I can check, give me the changes, and then I have to put in just a comment here. It could be anything, first change, okay, and I don't want to just click commit, I want to commit and push. If I just click commit, it's going to save it and get it ready to be pushed up. Notice that there's no changes here. So in order for me to push it up, I'm going to have to go to git and then push. Okay, or beforehand put commit and push. So I'm going to say push. It's going to say, where do I want it to go? I want it to go into origin and master. I'm going to send it out. Now, if this says no remote found or set up remote, that means you haven't connected into your remote yet. Okay, so I'm going to click push. It's pushing it out, and then it should give me some sort of message that it's out. If I come back over here and I hit refresh, this is test 2. Notice it changed the word from first to first. Okay, so that's how you send out to GitHub. Okay, now this is just like Word. I can come over here and I can click edit and I can change it to first, and I'll add a couple extra I's. Okay, so it look like that, right? And I'll say commit changes and commit the change. All right, so now this is my code. If I'm back over here in GitHub, okay, I can come over here and I can go to Git and I can do a fetch. Well, I'll probably want to do a pull first. So I do a pull, and it says it's finding all the changes out on origin. Okay, found the changes. Now I want to come out and I want to do a fetch. And fetch is going to go and grab all the changes and bring it to my local machine. And notice it says first with 2 I's. Okay, so just like commit and push, fetch and pull, grab it from the actual repository. Okay, that right there is super essential. Okay, you can manage your remotes. So if I go over here to Git, I can manage the remotes. I can remove this one from my remote and I can add I can add it back in again. Okay. If I add it back in, share project on GitHub, I cannot have that repository called Python project 2 here. I would have to go into the settings and go down and delete it before I can put it back out here. Otherwise, I have to give it a different name. One last thing that you should know is you should always add me as a collaborator. Okay. So collaborator is here. And it wants me to sign back in, but that's where the collaborator would be. And you would just add BA Marshall 06 as a collaborator. That way I can see all your code and I can give you feedback if you have any questions. All right, here's some helpful tips on how to use GitHub to put all your repository out there and to get things working great.